Alright, hello, my name is Dylan, and for my certification I chose to do CompTIA's Network Plus, the most recent version, which is the N10-99. And as far as like an introduction of why I wanted to choose this certification, it was more of a security-focused path. I've always been interested in network engineering and network security, and so understanding networks and how the internet works and how computers communicate, over a cable is super important, and it's one of the, it's the foundation of every cybersecurity or engineering career that, is, any or even software developers. Everybody uses networking if you're using a computer, so it's super important, and that's why I chose Network Plus. It's part of a little plan that I've got laid out in front of you here. So as far as learning actually goes, I used a free YouTube course of by Professor Messer, who is a pretty reputable figure in the CompTIA community. He makes videos for the A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and the CCNA certification. So he has a lot of good instruction. He's straight and to the point, and I decided to take notes on all of his videos, which I have in the actual tracker document submitted last week. But as far as you can see here, all the little red lines of the completion, and it's an 87 long video playlist, each one averaging around 7 minutes. So you do the math on that, it's about 12 hours long. So yeah, definitely a lot of good content to learn from there. And then I also used Cisco Packet Tracer, which is a software developed by Cisco for simulating network topologies, logical, physical, wireless, security, VPN tunnels, VLAN, subnetting, DNS, DHCP, troubleshooting, command line, routing protocols. Pretty much anything you need to know for setting up a network you can practice in this software. So it's a really good tool to use. And then I wanted to demonstrate that tool specifically with 5 of my skills, which are DHCP relay configuration, OSPF dynamic routing tables to tell routers what's on another router's subnet, troubleshooting methodology, kind of the ways that you go about fixing issues and what's the best way to go about that, packet analysis, and subnetting as well. And I figured I could fit all of these 5 skills into one big project, so I decided to demonstrate that here in Cisco Packet Tracer. As you can see here, we're in the real-time mode right now. I just have a small enterprise network that I've set up here for example's sake. So the first skill being DHCP relay configuration. As you can see here, I have my DHCP server set up here, and it sits behind a a 192.168.30 network. So multiple routers that it has to hop through. If this DHCP server were set up on this switch here, we wouldn't need any relay configuration, but since we do, we have to convert a computer's broadcast into a unicast at the router level on the layer 3 level and communicate it as unicast straight to the server. So that's the relay configuration we have set up there. You can kind of see the labels for all the subnetting that I have set up here. As far as this point-to-point router connection goes, it sits behind a /30 CIDR notation network, indicating that it has 2 usable hosts. And the main reason for that is to reduce IP address usage within the network. If we only have a point-to-point connection, we only need 2 usable addresses. So, and then you can see the rest of these switches are kind of separated in chunks here. You have this chunk right here, this chunk, and what will to be future in this chunk. This is an ongoing process. So you can see we have the .10, the .20, the .30, and the .40 subnets. And over here eventually be all of our wireless access points in our 802.11 protocols. So that'll go over there. And then we have the server farms down here, a little laptop network for, and then you got the PC network that ideally would be behind a patch panel, but we can't really simulate that here. So yeah, that's the subnetting. And then as far as OSPF routing goes, the DHCP server was, I had to troubleshoot this quite a bit. I started troubleshooting it by placing it on this subnet, and then I isolated it behind this router, router 1, and then eventually I put it back behind router 0, so it had 2 hops, and then I put it back behind router 3, so I had 3 hops. And that was kind of the troubleshooting I did there. It was definitely a pain in the neck, but we ended up getting it figured out. I have it turned off at the moment, but I can come here and simulate a packet, which we can demonstrate the last skill mentioned in the slides is packet simulation. So if we just change this to static, we can see those packets populate from PC1 and it gets sent to the switch. And then eventually, once it hits this router, it won't know where to go because the relay agent's not set up and the server's turned off. So we can double click on this packet here, and as we can see, we can analyze the packet, and we can see that it made it all the way to the server, but it actually released the lease here, so we might be able to see it. Let's see if we go to ipconfig. Oh yeah, that was a release packet, so they released the lease. But anyways, yeah, you can see the troubleshooting and the packet simulation there, all within Cisco packet tracers, so it's all pretty good stuff. And then these are just some of the stuff I just explained in these slides here. And then as far as the conclusion goes, so one thing I noticed is that you can watch YouTube videos all day, but as soon as you put it into practice, these concepts start to get a lot more complicated, and I think that's definitely why they say to study longer for Network Plus and Security Plus, because I thought I had it figured out when I was just watching the YouTube videos, but as soon as I tried building enterprise level networks, it got a lot harder. Like I said here, the DHCP relay took considerably longer than I thought it would. So yeah, and then I also used Claude to troubleshoot and explain concepts that weren't too familiar to me that I had seen in the YouTube videos, but I wanted to explore them in practice as well. So I got both the YouTube and the practical experience from that. And as far as the future plan goes, it'll be Security Plus next after I finish Network Plus in the coming months. So yeah, Security Plus, and then I'll move to EJPT or potentially OSCP after that. But that'll probably be after graduation. So, yep, that is my certification, and thank you very much.